In the journey to set up your investment fund in Europe, at some point you will face the concept of the fund management company. The topic of today's video is what fund management companies are, what do they do, and also as a bonus, what to look into a fund management company when you want to hire one for your European investment funds. Before we talk into more details about the topic of today's video, I wanted to remind you to hit subscribe to this channel and like to this video. Your support is helping us a lot to grow this channel more. A fund management company is an entity that is ultimately responsible for the management of collective investment schemes. The management of collective investment schemes can be broken down in three main functions. Those are investment management, administration, and distribution. Some may also add an additional function, which is risk management, more specifically investment risk and operational risk. Fund management companies don't necessarily have to carry out these functions themselves. In fact, they can delegate the carrying out of this function to external third parties. What is important to mention is that even though the function is delegated to a third party, the fund management company retains the ultimate responsibility for this function. With the advent of IFMD in Europe, the fund management business has evolved on a path of leasing model. That means that whilst you need a fund management company to establish your European investment fund, you don't necessarily have to create your own fund management company, because you can hire an independent fund management company that manages the funds of third parties. What is that a fund management company does? In essence, a fund management company is a provider of substance. Especially if you are based outside of Europe and you want to establish an investment company in Europe, you will need a local presence, you will need some personnel, and most of this, which is the substance, is offered by fund management companies. As we said, they don't necessarily have to discharge or carry out the three main functions, and so this is where the investment management, namely the portfolio management, is delegated back to the promoter of the fund. For instance, the distribution to another entity, and so the administration. The good news is then that whilst you need a fund management company, you don't need to set up your own one. A fund management company is also important because it can offer all that on-the-ground experience that foreign managers not conversant with the regulatory climate in Europe have been looking for since the implementation, for instance, of IFMD in Europe. You have decided that you are establishing your fund in Europe. Now you need a fund management company. What are the most important criteria when choosing for a fund management company? Per experience, one of the most important features or element is governance, and how governance is demonstrable throughout the processes of the fund management company. Governance, as we know, refers to all the procedures, processes, policies that dictate the behavior of corporates and make sure that these are consistent and predictable. Fund management companies will have persons within their staff that are designated to oversee and monitor the delegates. And so when choosing a fund management company, demonstrable governance is evidenced by all the report that this designated person provides to the board on the function and the activities of the delegates. At the same time, one other important element is the involvement of the board of the management company in the activities of the fund management company itself, and this can be substantiated by all the reports of the board meetings, for instance. One last word on the fund management business in Europe. Over the past years there has been a lot of consolidation in this industry, and now we have a few names, a few big fund management companies in the main European gateways for distribution. And if you want to know more about those, we've linked an article in the description of this video. So you must be prepared to the fact that there are very few names in the fund management industry in Europe, and most of the business is consolidated with these few names. Going for one of these big fund management companies has, of course, an upside because there are economies of scale that they have been able to achieve, and they can pass the economy on their clients. At the same time, if you want a more boutique or personalized service, there is still the opportunity to find certain fund management companies that are smaller, they are truly independent, they are not sustained or backed or owned by a private equity, and can still offer some more personalized service to their clients. Once again, if you made it to this part of the video, I wanted to remind you to subscribe to the channel, hit like to this video, and continue to help us growing the channel. There is more to come on the European fund business. Stay tuned.